Hi guys, welcome back to Debbie J's Crafting Corner. I'm Debbie, and if this is your first time visiting, I'm so happy to have you here. Each week I share some fun card making and paper crafting projects that I hope will inspire you to create something great. Today I'm using another awesome digital kit from TaylorMade Cards for You. Before we get started though, please do me a favor, hit the like button and hit that subscribe button. And also make sure that you hit the bell so you get a reminder every time I upload a new video. You'll also want to check out TaylorMade Cards for You's new monthly challenge. There's a link down in the description box for you to get all of the details. We will have a new theme each month, but this will be an Anything Goes challenge. And the prize for this month's challenge is a $10 gift code to TaylorMade Cards for You. The blog post will also have a discount code for 20% off of your TaylorMade Cards for You digital order. The theme for this month is friendship, so I created this set of Hello Friend cards with a coordinating card portfolio using a couple of digital products. As always, there are links to all of the products that I used listed below and over on my blog. As an extra treat, I'll be giving away this project to one lucky subscriber. Details for the giveaway will also be listed below. So to start off today's video, I wanted to kind of touch back on what I was discovering on my last video for TaylorMade Cards for You. On that video, I mentioned how it looked like my printing turned out so much better on photo paper, and this was some really old photo paper, compared to what I've been getting when I've been printing on the Michael's Recollections cardstock. Now, I went ahead and with this month's images for this month's card project, I went ahead and printed out on all of the different types of paper that I've got here, and I'm going to go ahead and show you what the different ones are, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about, see what I'm thinking and price comparisons and stuff as well. So this one, okay, I'm going to start with this one was the Michael's cardstock. Now everything looks pretty good. I do notice that it is, to me, if this is all that I had, I would think that everything was fine, which is probably why I didn't realize it to start off with. Then I've got this one, which is on the accent opaque white. And then we've got this one, which is on the Epson Premium Presentation paper, which is one that I had seen online was supposed to be a good one to go with. And then we've got the Office Depot photo paper. That's this one. And you can tell just looking at the color of the hair. Let me raise this up a little bit. This one is more vibrant and looks like it has a little bit more red in it, where this one looks kind of washed out and a dull brown. So I like this one better already. And then this one was on the Epson brochure and flyer paper that when my husband and his mom were at the store picking up the papers for me, they just got this one kind of on a whim. And that one looks really good too. So out of all of these, first off, this one doesn't look as white. That one is the accent opaque. This one looks a little bit dull compared to the others. I don't know if you can tell, but this one looks kind of grays. It didn't look like it brought out as much of the reds and browns that this one did. This one I think is more true to what is on the website. And when I had my husband take a look at this, the one thing he noticed more than anything when compared to these others where the color is better, is this one. You can see the pattern that was actually on the dress in the image on the website, on the digital download. So in my opinion, this one is the best out of the bunch. Now, looking at pricing, there is quite a bit of difference in pricing compared to this Michael's Recollections paper and this one, which is the Epson brochure flyer paper. This one comes down to, when it's bought at full price, at 27 cents a sheet. The Michael's is about 10 cents a sheet. And the accent opaque white is about 6 cents a sheet. Now this price for Michael's is of course without a coupon, so it would be cheaper if you used a 40 or 50% off. But the way that I think I'm going to be using it is that this Epson brochure and flyer paper. I'm going to be using that specifically for printing out my digital images because it comes out so well. After printing everything out on the Epson brochure and flyer paper, I started cutting them down. The paper doll set comes with Artist Trading Card or ATC images, and I thought these would be perfect for focal images for my cards. So I cut those out using my Fiskars paper trimmer. For the other images, I'm using my scan and cut to fussy cut them out for me. This saves me a ton of time, but you could always just use some scissors to cut out by hand what you need. Since I'm still trying to use what's in my stash, it's going to take a while, I pulled a sheet out of one of the multitudes of paper packs that I've got. I love this scripty font and it includes a lot of encouraging sentiments, so I cut those down to be the right size to go on the front of a card base. Now I'm going ahead and creating a few of those card bases. This is using Michael's Recollections 100 pound 300 GSM cardstock. I think it's 110 pound. Anyway, it's using the heavyweight cardstock that I typically use for all of my card bases, and I'm scoring and burnishing that using my EK Success scoring tool. Now I'm using a dot liner adhesive to adhere this to the back. Now you probably noticed there's an image on the back of my focal image. That's because I printed it wrong the first time. You want to make sure that you're printing it on high quality whenever you print out these images to get a real nice crisp image. I didn't do that the first time and it came out really bad. So now I'm going to go ahead and adhere that with that background to the front of my card panel. I think these turned out really, really pretty. I'll do that for all 4 of the cards. You may have noticed that the card base border isn't quite right on an edge or two on these cards. I'm going to trim it down a bit so that I leave a white edge of about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. Now I do this quite a bit on my cards, and I think the reason it's needed is that the cardstock that I'm using is actually slightly larger than 8 1/2. So when it's folded in half, it's slightly larger than 4 1/4. Next, I need a sentiment. I decided that although I do have stamps that would work, I'd create my own. I'm using Microsoft Word, but any word processor would work for this. After typing Hello Friend, I picked a font that I liked and then resized it to about 1 1/2 inches. Then I filled the page with the sentiment. I mean, why print one when you can print a bunch? This time I'm going to be printing using my laser printer. Why? Because I'm going to foil the sentiments. I'm using some rose gold deco foil from Thermoweb and my Granova laminator. I'm also making sure to brush off any dust that might be on the printed page and on the back of the foil, just in case. I want to get as good of an image as I can on this. I'm also going to be layering up some of the foil, or attempting to, because the sheets that I've got were not quite big enough for the page that I'm that I'm foiling. What I think I may do next time is cut it down, because I think that actually worked better. There were some spots that didn't quite foil as well as I would have liked, and I think that's probably because of the way I had to layer the foiling up. However, I think these sentiments turned out great, so I'm going to go ahead and cut those down into some small strips. Now I've got a ton for some future cards. I'm using some art glitter glue and my reverse tweezers to adhere the little sentiment to the front of the cards. With these cards all finished, I could have just stopped here. Instead, I decided to create a holder for this set of cards. Now, this part of the video is pretty much seat of my pants crafting, so I might not show the exact measurements in the video, but I will be sure to add written instructions over on my blog in case you want to make one of these too. First, I did some scoring to create the spine. This is to allow a little more space between the front and the back of the portfolio for the cards to sit. Then I did some more scoring to create a couple of pockets. I also trimmed off some of the excess cardstock. To hold the pockets closed, I'm using some double-sided adhesive tape. Now, as an afterthought and after the video, I decided to add some art glitter glue to those places to make sure that it holds really, really well. Now it's time to decorate the portfolio. I'm using another sheet from that same paper pack and trying to choose a dark color that will contrast with this pretty image of a lady from that digital kit. So I decided on this one that's black with some flowers. I think that's going to look pretty well and go along real nicely with the colors of the cards themselves. So I cut down that sheet so that I'll have a panel that will fit on the front of the cover and on the back, and now I'm turning it down just a touch to leave a little white border all the way around. I'm adhering these panels down using some art glitter glue. I also had a little piece of scrap that was left over from when I was trimming them down, and that is perfect to add to the spine of this little portfolio. Next, I'm adding a couple of the other digital images to the front of the portfolio. This includes that friendship quote. I think that is just so nice. That friendship quote is going to be in the center, and then I'm adding the two ladies facing each other on the front of this portfolio. I'm also decorating the inside of the covers as well. What I'm doing is I'm taking a couple of small pieces of that same pattern paper, and I'm going to cover the front of the pockets. That'll give it a little, I guess, a little more of a polished look. You could always add additional pieces to this just to dress it up more if you want to, but this one is kind of a simple one. And then, because I don't know exactly how that angle is, I just put the piece backwards behind it to get that drawn on there perfect, and it winds up fitting the opposite side. So I do that for each of those. Then I trim them down just a touch so that they'll leave that nice approximately 1/8 inch border all the way around. And just like with the front panels, I'm adhering these down with art glitter glue as well. So this finishes up this design team project for today. I hope that this inspires you to create something great, and I would love to see what you create. So come join my Facebook group, Crafting with Debbie, and show us your creations. I've left a link in the description down below. Be sure to check out all of the other crafters on the Tailor-Made Cards for You design team, because I know they will have a lot of inspirational projects for you to see. Here are some other videos that you may be interested in. Thank you so much for dropping by, and remember, if I can make it, you can too.